Hey, what is up guys, it is Slikk, or Slickbuff here, and I'm back again with another video talking about the potentially leaked DLC character lineup for Injustice 2's Season Pass, which will be on sale for $40, and you get 9 characters and many premium skins. I think it happens to be quite a good deal, as long as the DLC characters are quality and ones that we want to play as. So, let's take a look at that and see if that is the case. Do keep this roster, or this leaked list, whatever, with a grain of salt, because of the fact that this comes from Reddit, okay? But here's the thing, this was posted 2 months ago. I have it on Game FAQs right now. It is a copy and paste from Reddit, which was posted 2 months ago. 2 months ago, we did not have all the character reveals for Injustice 2, and in the past 2 months, it has turned out that every single one of the characters on this list has been correct, okay? So the original roster is correct, that was leaked, and scroll down a little bit, and we get the DLC characters. Do we have any reason to believe that this is not true? If the entire character roster was correct, surely this guy isn't psychic or, you know, whatever. Somebody had to have some sort of inside information, and therefore it's likely that most of the DLC characters here will come true. Is it possible that some may change? I happen to think so, especially because it's been leaked now, and it's DLC, so, I mean, they're probably still not all finished yet. I doubt that all 9 of the characters are done and ready to go, and if not, they could have just included them in the original game. I mean, granted, I see why they wouldn't, because they want to have more in the Season Pass, but still, you get what I'm saying. I truly believe that 1 or 2 of these may be completed, and actually only 8 of the 9 DLC characters that will be released are listed here on this post that was posted 2 months ago. So let's go ahead and read over the DLC characters. So the first one is Darkseid. As I mentioned, that's not one of the 9, okay? So there may actually be 7 here. So we go Starfire, Black Manta, who's one that we've wanted for a while, Spawn, who is not a DC Comics character, Terra from the Teen Titans, Katana, Klarion the Witch Boy, excuse me, I said Rich Boy, who works under Abracadabra. If you've ever seen Young Justice Season 1, you may know that character. And then Static Shock. So Static Shock is also a fan favorite that a lot of people have wanted in this game. So is that actually, yeah, that's only 7. So we have 7 of the 9 DLC characters here. And again, I do firmly believe it's possible that not all 9 are completed or they've decided fully yet, and thus why 2 months ago especially it is not fully listed all 9 of the DLC characters. But that's certainly a start for us with Starfire, Black Manta, Spawn, Terra, Katana, Klarion the Witch Boy, I said it again, god damn it, Klarion the Witch Boy, and Static Shock. Okay, so 7 of the 9. What do I think of this roster overall? Let's assume that this is true for a second. Let's assume that this is actually going to be the DLC. I'm happy with Starfire, very happy. Very happy with Black Manta. Not so happy with Spawn, because I think that there's a DC character we could replace him with, but Spawn is a very cool character, to be fair. But I'd prefer them all be DC, that's just my personal opinion. Terra is pretty cool. Katana's certainly cool. Klarion the Witch Boy I would certainly replace with Abracadabra, personally, who I think is a far more cool, I guess, I was about to say cooler, far more cool, sort of like magic person, you know, sort of, well, he's not actually a magician, Abracadabra, that's his whole shtick. If you've seen The Flash, then you know that. I happen to be a humongous fan of Abracadabra, so I would replace him there. And then Static Shock I would sub out as well, because I'm not really a fan of him. So let me give you my list, which you may or may not care about. I mean, let's assume that the DLC character list is true. It won't really matter, but here's my list. I have Abracadabra and Starfire. Then I go into Red Hood, who I'm shocked is not in this 9, and I think that if there's 2 missing from this list, Red Hood is going to be in there. I mean, he's been asked for so much. It's insane. Beast Boy I would also like to see. I think it'd be really, really fun to play as, and just totally unique in terms of a gameplay setup. I would have Batgirl, of course, and then I would go Atom, probably the new Atom and not Ray Palmer. To be truthful with you, and then we'll go Red Tornado, who I think would be fun to play as well, and then Katana, so I'd keep Katana, and then I'd do Miss Martian, since we did already have Martian Manhunter as DLC last time. He's not going to return, so I think Miss Martian would be cool, and she could play entirely differently, be it that she's a white Martian, I mean, being, you know, a substantial difference, that her gameplay could be quite different. I would love to see what her super move would be. I'm sure it would involve something with throwing you to Mars and back. So I would like to see that, but that's my DLC wish list. In regards to this DLC roster, I think it's somewhat weak. We'll see the 2 additional ones. Again, I don't really have any particular complaints. I think Terra is kind of like, you know, did anyone really ask for her? I think she could play very cool. In terms of Spawn, again, I would sub him out. Static Shock, I'm not really a fan of that character. But Starfire and Black Manta, I'm very, very excited about. Again, I would like to see Abracadabra in that roster because I'm a particular fan of him. You know, I think it's good that there's not too many I think they want to avoid Batman characters in the DLC because people have complained about that very extensively, that there's too many Batman characters in the roster. I happen to not care. Personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, just mainstream audiences especially are really fans of a lot of these Batman characters and know them very well, like Poison Ivy. I think it'd be wrong to not include Catwoman in the game. I think it'd be, you know, wrong to not include Harley Quinn or the Joker or stuff like that. So I can't really complain about that at all. But I do understand what some people are saying, that they're appealing maybe too much to mainstream audiences. I happen to disagree with the inclusion of Dr. Fate and Blue Beetle and stuff like that. So I happen to wholly disagree with that. But, you know, still I can understand that sentiment for sure. Overall, the DLC character list, let's assume that this is true. I think that the final 2 is really going to determine if the Season Pass is going to be worth it. You know, a lot of people have asked for spawns. People like that character and want to see him in the game, so that's totally fair. But I do believe that there are some weird choices in here. I mean, I've seen people ask for Static Shock, but others in here I don't know as much. But overall, I think that the roster can be strong. And again, if you finish off that DLC list with Red Hood and Beast Boy or somebody like that, you know, a real, you know, fan favorite that maybe is not an A-list character. I don't think that you want to do a cookie-cutter choice that's not in the game. For instance, I don't think that you'd want to select Martian Manhunter, for instance, because he's so popular that almost in a way people want like those cult hits, like those B-list characters that people are really fans of, like Beast Boy, that have a huge cult following. Red Hood, to a degree, I could argue is the case as well. Whereas these main characters, you know, nobody was like super, you know, mind blown excited when Green Lantern was announced to be in Injustice 2, right? But meanwhile, when you have Blue Beetle announced or Red Hood, people will just go bananas because it's a cult hit, right? And that's something I would like to see in the final 2 choices. So I think Red Hood has to be in this DLC roster. I don't see how he's not. He won the poll that Ed Boon posted. I just cannot imagine a world in which Red Hood is not in Injustice 2. So I'm hoping that he is going to be probably the final release DLC character and make us wait for it. That's perfectly understandable, but there's so much possibility for the gear, and just I think he'd work so well in the game. There's nobody quite like him. I think Deadshot would be probably the closest, but then you have the hand-to-hand combat aspect of it. I mean, and then you have the Arkham Knight premium skin, or just DLC, whatever you have, you know, whatever. I just think there's a lot of possibility there, and it would be a huge mistake to miss out. So I certainly have Red Hood in my roster wish list, in addition to Beast Boy and Batgirl and Adam I would like to see as well. So we'll see how that turns out. Let me know your thoughts on the DLC roster thus far. Again, 7 of the 9 choices, assuming that it's real. Do you think it's real? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. My name is Slikk. I'll see you guys in the next video.